It's that time again. The annual conference of the American Society of Ag Consultants, otherwise known as ASAC, is going to be held in Fort Myers, Florida, this November 4th and 5th. Kurt Covington is one of 9 professionals who will address the conference. The other speakers who will cover a wide range of topics represent Florida Farm Bureau, Florida Citrus Commission, University of Tennessee Institute of Agriculture, National Ag Law Center, Risk Mitigators and Advisors, Tyler Associates, as well as the lead economist for dairy at CoBank, and myself, Chrissy Wozniak from North American Ag. The day and a half of presentations will be followed by ag tours on Tuesday afternoon at Echo Farms, one of my favorite places here in Fort Myers. Attendees will experience farming at its most creative, with unique demonstrations, plants, and techniques being used to help farmers and urban gardeners in developing countries. A second tour at Echo will showcase simple technologies that can improve food, water, and shelter for millions of people. A third tour of a hydroponic grower is also being planned. For more information and to register, visit www.agconsultants.org. That's www.agconsultants.org. See you there. This podcast is proudly sponsored by Fastline Marketing Group. Fastline has been serving farmers and the ag industry for over 40 years and is in the name you can trust. Check out fastline.com for your latest equipment needs and fastlinemarketinggroup.com for their full suite of print and digital marketing capabilities. Fastline Marketing Group, the farmer resource and the marketing partner of choice for the agricultural community. Fastline.com. And welcome to North American Ag Spotlight. I'm Chrissy Wozniak. Today, we're talking about a recent big win for producers. As you know, John Deere has recently agreed to allow farmers to service their own equipment. So joining me today is a man who has great insight and some advice to producers who are tackling fixing their own John Deere equipment. And not just John Deere equipment, a lot of other types of equipment as well. His company, ERD, has 20 plus years of experience in refurbishing legacy and new electronics. From Kernsville, North Carolina, I'd like to welcome President of ERD, Glenn Flaherty. Welcome, Glenn, and thank you so much for joining me today.
Oh, no problem, Chrissy. It'd be nice to talk to you and all your listeners out there.
Yeah. So first of all, do you want to just give me a bit about your own personal background?
Well, I'm originally from New England. So I went to college in Worcester, Massachusetts. And when I got out of college, it was unfortunately a recession. And the jobs were more in North Carolina than they were in New England. So I relocated to New England about 32 years now. And I've lived here in North Carolina ever since. And I've always been an engineer by trade. And for the last 27 years, I've owned ERD.
Very good. And so tell us about ERD then.
So ERD is an engineering company in the sense that we look at anything that's electronic, we think we can figure it out and fix it. So we're not dedicated to just one industry. We're actually in a broad range of industries. And we look at ourselves as being kind of a craft of trying to repair electronics. It's a challenge. We're a problem solver, and people bring to us from many different walks of life and many different industries equipment that is seriously hampering their way of life. So whether it's manufacturing and textiles and automaking to farms and using equipment on the farm. Like right here, we have a John Deere baler that we're going to be repairing for a farm out in the Midwest. And right now they kind of need their baler.
Yep, they will soon. Definitely. Yep. Yeah, so that's really interesting. So, and you also, I learned, have a very diverse background. You have a degree in both electrical engineering and philosophy. So why and how have those worked together in your life and your business over the years?
Well, I think part of, people would say use your engineering degree more. And, most people would say the stereotype of an engineer is not somebody who would be doing a podcast. or somebody who would be, running a company. Usually engineers are a little more in the background for the most part. So I'm going to give my philosophy degree the credit to that. And I guess what I'm about is being diverse. I guess I don't want to be pigeonholed for one thing. And that's why I have two separate degrees and in such completely different areas.
Yeah.
And I like to think my passion comes from the philosophy aspect. So for me, when we work on something, a lot of times we're doing it not necessarily because of the money we can make from it, but because it's important to someone. So there's many times that we'll bring in work that, we realize we're not going to make any money off of it, but it helps somebody. So that's, I think, comes from my philosophy side where, try to make a difference to people.
Yeah, that makes sense. So what is the ERD powertrain? How does it support the agriculture industry?
Okay, so ERD is really two parts now. So ERD powertrain is our division that's working on harnesses and materials that we need to make for vehicles or farm equipment. So right now we have product lines that we actually manufacture to support what people can't buy without a 6-month or a 1-year lead time.
Wow.
That's we're also, so we're trying to cut down the time and issues that people are not able to use their equipment with that. Now, if it's an existing product that we can repair, the ERD side will work on it. So like this baler unit right here is a piece of equipment that John Deere considers unsupportable. And to them, I believe for this baler, you have to replace basically everything. So I'm sure the expense on that, you'd probably be better off buying a new baler. And I'm sure that's part of what they would like you to do.
Yeah.
Whereas this unit came in this week and it'll be shipped back to the customer probably within 2 weeks.
Wow. In working order, I assume.
In working order. And the one thing that makes us different is anything that we can video when we're running a piece of equipment, we'll create a test video and send it to our customers so they can see their equipment in use and working before we ship it typically or right after.
Yeah. Oh, that I'm sure gives them a little comfort too.
Well, and we do that because we try to refurbish everything, not repair it. So we're not going to do like the minimum amount of work. We're going to do work that can sustain our 3-year warranty, because that's what we give on all our repairs. Yeah. So we obviously want to do a job that makes it last longer than that. We don't want it to come back.
Yeah, that makes sense. And so kind of the main issue I want to talk about today is how the American Farm Bureau announced recently that it had reached a memorandum of understanding with John Deere, stating that it would provide farmers and independent repair shops the information that they would need to service the company's equipment. So can you explain this from your point of view?
Okay, so the biggest problem that from our dealing with John Deere, that out in the field, there's two specific problems that farmers have had with John Deere. First off is the availability of replacement parts, which of course means downtime for whatever equipment it is, whether it's a baler or a thresher or any of the real high-end stuff. They don't have the parts. So now they're allowing people like ERD to have the technical documentation to be able to help with the repair. Additionally, I believe they're allowing the authorization of other people to enable new equipment in the field. So I know from personal experience with a farmer out in Kansas that when you buy a piece of equipment for one of the highly automated systems, it requires a service tech to fly in from John Deere to hook up a laptop and press 2 or 3 buttons, and there you go. They're coming up with a way so that people like myself or dealers can do that, and the farmer doesn't have this unexpected large expense after they buy the new piece of equipment for their equipment.
Yeah.
So that's an exciting change that I think is going to help worldwide and in the U.S. farmers who are just have a lot of equipment that's sitting idle, waiting for either a tech or a piece of equipment to be repaired or a new piece that, has to be activated.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. And no, just playing devil's advocate a little bit, it makes sense for a company to want to keep these things under lock and key, ensuring they get, like you said, that long-term business, parts and repair and flying people around. So where do you think the line is? Like what is really fair for everyone in this situation?
Well, I think that you have to look at the computer world as an example. Okay. So the PC, as we're using right now, I don't know if you're using an Apple, but I'm using a PC, is something that is distributed among a lot of companies. There's a lot of people that know how to work on it, and it's not proprietary. Then you have Apple. Well, Apple has a nice product, but it's a much smaller market share because if you have to have stuff worked on and you're not willing to wait or pay the premium, you're not going to buy an Apple because you're locked into their network. So I think the fairness thing is John Deere is looking now more into the future to be more like the Chevy model or the Ford model or let independent people work on their equipment because it makes people more likely to buy new equipment when they need new equipment and less problems for the OEM, in terms of complaints or, there's been legal action over the years. And I think there's got to be a middle ground. We're not here to copy John Deere's stuff and make our own thresher. We just want the ability to help the farmer out in the field keep doing their job. And, John Deere can't be everywhere at every point in time. It's just not feasible for them.
Yeah. Yeah. Those are really good points. And so, as you've explained, you've successfully repaired hundreds of John Deere units. The machines are really complex and not all producers will know where to start when trying to fix things themselves now. I think a lot of them are excited they can, but just really don't know where to start. So that's where your company can help. So how would they use your services? What's the process?
Well, our process is simple. The way we really work best is, and we've learned this through international work and working with cruise ships on the ocean, is if somebody has a problem, reach out to us. Usually it's either me or one of the technical people. If they don't know where to start, we'll give them some brief guidance like, okay, what's going on? We're problem solvers. So a good portion of the time, if they call us at the beginning, we can walk them through and go, we don't absolutely know that this is the problem, but this is what you need to check and start there. We've done video conferencing with customers. We've sent pictures, they've sent pictures, and usually we can work enough so that we can find where the problem probably is. And sometimes we can fix it and we're like, okay, that's a mechanical problem. You need to go this direction. And, it's not us. And we're fine with that because really what we believe is in the long-term model of being somebody known as a problem solver. And maybe today we're not the answer you need, but we might be able to tell you where to go.
Yeah.
Because we know down the road, when you do have a problem that you do need us, you're going to call us. So we're looking at it from the long-term standpoint.
Yeah, I love that. And so you work with people across the US, but do you also work with people in Canada?
Oh, absolutely.
Nice.
We've worked with every province, even the one with the name that I can't pronounce, the one way up there in the middle of nowhere, the northernmost part of Canada, the Maritime, British Columbia, Saskatchewan. I can pronounce that one. We've done trucks for people up there, Ford units out of boom lifts and scissor lifts, and definitely construction equipment. A lot of that. Broad range, Caterpillar, Volvo, all the basic brands. And actually, we did a Komatsu for a guy that had to wait 3 months. I believe it was Canada, because it was during the winter and he had to wait 3 months to actually get to where it was because it was in the frozen part of his area. Which is,
wow.
some unique things like that.
Up in the snow roads areas.
Yeah, like way up where you can't get there for a few months. So
Yeah.
yes, we do Canada, and of course we do Mexico, and we've done work for all the continents except I don't think we've done Antarctica. Would be nice to do Antarctica and knock that
Yeah,
out.
you
But
should
we've
check
done
that
it.
box.
That's right. We've done all the other ones, and we've had a lot of success. And using our technology, we can work through language barriers,
Oh,
and using video, which we do a lot of, we can use that tool to help people, especially with cell phones. There's no reason why we can't be done better.
yeah. Have you ever thought of putting on webinars for farmers that are, that want to learn some of the basics?
Actually, we're in the process of doing an educational channel. We're in the process
Oh,
of
that's
planning that
amazing.
out, and it'll be we right now we have 3 YouTube channels. We have our primary YouTube channel, which is shows different equipment we work with, playlists by industry. We have a dedicated video channel that's just road testing. When we fix tractor trailer trucks, we put the modules. We own a truck, so we put it in the truck and drive it around the neighborhood.
Wow.
So that's all that's on that video. So it's not very exciting, but your module works. And then the third one is anything that we video, we use that channel to immediately send to the customer after it's done. Hey, look, your unit's doing something, and we're shipping it back to you. So
Wow.
we have 3 levels of channels now, but the
Yeah.
educational is the one we're planning right now.
Right. Oh, that's good. So what's your YouTube channel so we can share the links in the show notes?
Okay, right now, if you go to YouTube, you can go to ERD Ltd Inc., otherwise known as the Industrial Repair Store, and it'll pop up. We pop up all over the place. And then we have the ERD Road Test, and we have ERD Video Test. So all those channels will put links available for the people
Yep.
to see all these videos. We have some that are longer than others. And as I said, the educational channel, we probably will create as a playlist on our main video channel.
Yeah.
So just click on playlist and you'll see all the different sorted by categories. And of course, there is farm equipment as a category.
Yeah. Oh, that's awesome. So what is your website then? Where can people reach you?
Okay, so go to www.industrialrepairstore.com.
Perfect. Awesome. And do you have any advice to farmers on tackling these issues?
Well, the advice I would give to them is upfront when you go to buy new equipment. As part of the deal, if you're buying anything as new equipment, make them include all the service manuals that exist. Make them include any software that allows you to change parameters, because then when you're buying something new is when you have the most ability to get it from an OEM, not after the fact.
Right.
So build that in. Say, hey, I want all the service manuals, because no matter what, it's a tool that is, being beat on out in the world, and it's going to fail no matter what. So get the tools up front that you can when you go to buy that new equipment. And the same goes for surplus equipment. Know what you're looking at. Ask people's advice. We have spent many years helping people determine whether they should buy a piece of equipment or not by giving them things to look for.
Yeah.
Maybe it is completely worn out, and that's why it's too good to be true. So those are the kind of things. Try to educate yourself a little bit before you sign on the dotted line.
Yeah, that's excellent advice. Very good. And I have one last question for you. So why do you serve in this way? I can tell you're very helpful. You want to serve. What's your greatest passion in all of it?
Well, I guess my passion is I get this from my mother. I'm a helper. Okay. I was raised that way by my parents, and specifically my mother is a helper. And I'm always a glass half full. And I always want to be out there to help. Sometimes you shouldn't, but I always look forward, and I'm going to do it anyways. So, it's just built into me to do something to help people when there's a problem. So I guess it's perfect that my company is a problem-solving company then.
Yeah, for sure. And it
This is my
seems like it served
personality.
you well.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome. Well, thank you so much, Glenn, for joining me today. That's some really good information for farmers all across North America.
Okay. Well, thank you for the interview.
Yeah, and thanks to all who are watching or listening. If you want to learn more, the links are provided in the show notes. Don't forget to subscribe to North American Ag Spotlight on YouTube, Rumble, Telegram, or AgFuse channels. And the podcast is available on Spotify, Apple, Stitcher, Amazon, or wherever you listen to podcasts. And have a great day. Our newest podcast by North American Ag is called What Color is Your Tractor? The stories behind the ag brands you love and the ag brands you love to hate. Hosted by me, Chrissy Wozniak. We take a deep dive into the companies that have built modern agriculture. Subscribe on your favorite podcasting platform. Go to whatcolorisyourtractor.com. Available on Apple, Amazon, Spotify, Stitcher, or wherever you listen to podcasts.